Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna be flying out the Mig-9. More specifically, the Russian Mig-9 that is in rank 5 at 7.3. Big thanks for this comment here suggesting this vehicle. Like I said, I always appreciate ideas and what you guys wanna see first before anything else. But with that, let's get on with the Mig-9. Now first let's get the obvious question out of the way. Why am I not using the Mig-9 and why am I using the Mig-9 late? Well, because the Mig-9 late is 10 times the plane at the same BR. And I'm gonna be explaining the differences using vehicle history. War Thunder! Okay, that cringe aside, I'm going to be explaining what the differences are between the Mig-9 and Mig-9 late. So it's the end of World War II, and the Soviet Union needs a proper jet fighter to deliver Stalin his vodka. And to not upset Stalin and his mighty comrades, the Soviets decided to capture the German facilities containing the precious BMW engines. And because the Soviets needed to advance with jet technology, the Soviet government assigned the mighty Mikoyan and Gurevich Design Bureau the task of reverse engineering the BMW engines and shoving them up a chassis' ass. And with that, the first prototype was created. This pile of garbage contained two reverse engineered RD-20 engines side by side inside the lower fuselage, fed by a central split nose intake. When the prototype was finished, it was supposed to be tested on a set date, but coincidentally it matched the date of its rival, the Yak-15, which we all know is just a Yak-3 with a dodgy turbojet in its nose. The Soviets decided to settle this battle of shit with a simple coin toss, and unlucky for all of us, the stupid Mig-9 won, and it became the first ever Soviet jet fighter to be produced. And now because the Soviets decided this was a good invention, I now have to play it in War Thunder. But it's my suffering, your pleasure, so it goes both ways. The mighty MiG history aside, the Mig-9 in War Thunder performs just as well as it did in real life. Absolute garbage. At least for a first jet. Now its firepower isn't a joke. It has a 37mm cannon in its nose alongside two 23mm cannons with as much ammo as you could expect. They are very low velocity cannons with horrible travel time, and if you're stuck, then horrible dispersion as well. Now a keen eye over here would observe the two massive little bombs on the wings, and those are not bombs, those are fuel tanks, because this is the Mig-9 late. It had two additional fuel tanks because the engines were upgraded, and that's mainly the whole reason why I would choose the Mig-9L over the Mig-9, the regular one. Now, my kill grid here aside, you would notice that I am not very good with these cannons, as from the F3D shot I took over here. That is because I am not. I have never ever been good with MiG cannons, and the exact same cannons are on the MiG-15, MiG-17, all of the MiG-9s, and I will never understand to aim them at all. As for the energy performance of this plane, well, if you're playing the regular Mig-9, rest in peace, and if you're playing the Mig-9 late, rest in peace. Not only does it have horrible low speed handling and mediocre turn rate, but it hands down, in my opinion, has the worst jet acceleration after the Yak-15. You could not pay me to play this again. This match over here is where I was stuck, and you could see my engines are burning up even though I am not wepping most of the time. That's because this thing's stock is basically the Mig-9, and when it's spaded, it's half as decent. The only maybe thing I would love about this plane in particular is its energy retention. That's actually one of the core things the Mig-9 ever had. Energy retention, decent cannons for slow targets, and you know, it's a jet, so you're faster than all of super props. Now, before you yell at me in the comments, and especially those Mig-9 lovers, personally, I wouldn't recommend this jet as the starter jet for anyone. If you really want a jet, I would suggest skipping the Mig-9 line and going for the MiG-15. The MiG-15 is... words can't describe that plane. Or if you really want the MiG-9, the only scenario, like I said, would be to use it at ground RB. It's a lower BR than the MiG-15, you get the same cannons and you face weaker opponents. But don't expect beating sabers in this and up tiers, like I will do here in a moment. The MiG-9 late has better acceleration because it has better engines, and that's basically the only difference you can notice in War Thunder. So how do you play this thing properly in RRB? Well, first of all, climb. Climb like your life depends on it. Get to at least 4 or 5,000 meters and then check who isn't paying attention, check who dares to head on you, because then again, these cannons, when they do hit, they hit pretty hard. So my suggestion is head on with people or with aircraft you know you can kill. Don't be like me here, almost getting killed by a F-89 with rockets, with proxy fuse rockets. But yeah, this plane thrives on getting opportunities. It is not like the F-80 in the American tech tree where you have almost everything in your advantage to kill people how you want. It thrives on opportunities, and that's what I would call this plane, the opportunistic Soviet piece of garbage. And just like how the Soviets used the MiG-9 temporarily to build a better plane, I would use this plane temporarily to get the MiG-15 and then move on and forget that it ever exists in the Russian tech tree. Now I am chasing this F9F Panther, which is a superior plane than me. You will see I get a couple of shots that don't do anything, and then the Saber decides to join the party, which again I knew he was there. Now the Saber beats me in absolutely everything. If he was smart and not an absolute bozo, he could have absolutely smacked me. But I managed with this, hunk of junk, I managed to get lucky shots with the 37mm cannons and disable him enough so that he jays out. You will see me try to turn fight, go vertical, but because this plane has handling like a bomber, I don't really get that good shots or my nose on him. And you will see here I get a critical with a lucky 37mm, and then I will try to spray all of my guns just to get rid of him, because again, it's a Saber, it's 10 times the plane I am, and he luckily jays out in a moment. So yeah, if a Saber knows what he's doing, you're absolutely screwed. And same goes for any up tier that you're gonna face. Unless you're a pro player and know exactly what you're doing, which I am not, and I doubt most people in rank 5 are, there's a small chance that you may kill a Saber like me here. Now the F-89 from before decides that he doesn't value his life choices and decides to stall out in the middle of nowhere. Now I don't unfortunately get the kill because he jayed out, but yeah, people, especially in premium planes, are not very bright with what they're doing, and that's coming from me because I don't have any rank 5 premium jet that I actively use or abuse. I actually mostly play the F2 Saber at 8.7 because it's a 20mm cannon Saber, it's at a decent BR, and then again, it's not as broken as a lot of other premiums are, or other missiled jets at that BR. Now an F-84 decides to pitch up for me here and fails miserably. He's, again, a better plane than me, which is a common theme here. The Mig-9 is no saint, especially not at 7.3, but I luckily managed to maneuver this hunk of shit and then get behind him and get a single tap on him and he explodes. The cannons on this do hit hard, which that's one of the benefits of this plane. But then again, you have little to no ammo, which if you're trying to spray these low velocity shots is kind of an issue. So then be conservative if you can. Don't be like me spraying 23 millimeters at a kilometer saber or anything. Basically, you have to aim these when you're very close, otherwise it's just a waste of ammo. Now fast forwarding here to where I have to go to base, but I still had little to no ammo. I decided to go finish off my belts on this MB326K, which, to put it politely, is a turn fighter. Even though it's a strike aircraft, it's a turn fighter. And I also have no fuel because this is an afterburning engine, and I took, well, afterburning, it has a little bit of more power and it has better fuel consumption, but I took 13 minutes either way. So he goes to finish off the base. I decide to not go for the risky angle. He manages again to finish off the base, and then he tries to go around this hill, and I, a smart cookie, decide to cut him off. He doesn't pull away. I line up my shots, absolutely fumble each and one of them, because, you know, that's just me. He tries to go for the reverse turn, trying to get a better angle, because then again he can. He has better AOA than me at these speeds. The attacker tries to come and help. From what I could see, he didn't get much shots on him. He goes around the hill again. I cut him off and I line up my shots, managed to clip him a little bit. He didn't do a lot, but shots are shots. And then again, with 30 seconds of fuel, I go and with my 6 cannon rounds try to get one last cheeky shot, fire 2 by 2, and then I clip his whole back off the tail. Kill number 3. And this was one of the better matches I had with the Mig-9, because I started to slowly learn the velocity of these guns again. I did play the German MiG-15 on my, 2016 account before, and some of that instinct is still here. Now after a quick rearm and refuel, I take off, climb a little bit, and then notice on their airfield, the support one, there's the F9 Panther from way before that I managed to not kill fully. He doesn't see me because, again, he doesn't expect me here, and he probably doesn't look around him with the free cam, but I take the opportunity, get behind him, and absolutely smoke him. Kill number 4. Now, then again, opportunistic kills, you will probably not have those like me all the time, because each match is different, and in this one I actually got the better side of this plane. But yeah, these cannons hit hard when they do for the 3rd time. But yeah, just as I, stable out here trying to keep my speed and altitude, there's an F-84 just below me down there trying to pitch up for me. I decide to go for head-on because I had ammo. I spray a few shells, do absolutely nothing. He tries to spray his M350 cals, does nothing, because an F-84 is also a sad plane, but more capable than this. Again, he decides to pitch up, which is the stupidest idea ever, and while he's slow, I get behind him, and again, he got absolutely smoked. or what I thought was smoking. And then he J's out. And then the last, person was a B-29 that was way above, which with a little bit of climbing and keeping my speed, I get behind, spray shells for absolutely the money shot. I do get the money shot because again, these cannons hit hard and they are probably better at this role at killing bombers and slow targets than 20 mils, but yeah, that was a 6 kill game basically. Now he decides to be an absolute piece of garbage and an insufferable human being and doesn't J out because there's a minute left in the battle and he wants to keep his life. But luckily for me, War Thunder added a neat little thing where if you're heavily damaged and can't fly and the game ends, it will J you out just before to count the kill for who killed you. So that was the Mig-9 dilemma in this game. Now for the last game, I'm gonna be showing you what amazing stupid things I actually did with this plane. Now this was when it was fully spaded, and I actually died stupidly in this game because I underestimated this exact plane that is going head on with me, the exact same dude, the A21, that I fire a few shots, don't get any. He tries to get a quick little shot but doesn't manage to, and then the J6K appeared. Poor little thing, I say, and then I absolutely do nothing. Now the J6K is a prop. I don't know how he got up tier this badly, but then again, there's the Griffin Spitfires that got up tier. This one is AFK, he doesn't do a whole lot. I kill him. The other one avoids a head-on only to absolutely get smoked by this 37 mil. 2 kills in less than a minute. Fast forward again to when I went down and kept my speed and all. The Meteor, I fire one shot and then it clips his whole wing. Kill number 3. Then the J29, which again, superior plane. I don't know why I'm even saying this. Anyone is superior than me when I'm playing the Mig-9. It's horrible. Now the J29, unlike other planes, is on the same level of cannons as the Mig-9. It has, if I remember, 430 millimeters, and they slap, but he got slapped way before he could take a shot. And then I go help the teammate that gets obliterated by the A21, which got 6 kills or 5 kills if I remember. Now this is a lesson to show you what you shouldn't do in this plane, which I was overconfident, which is shocking despite how I trash talk this pile of crap. The A21 is basically playing with me. He can stay on my 6 however long he wants because this plane's handling is garbage. So don't be overconfident thinking, yeah, I will definitely beat this plane, knowing it's damn well superior. But still, the Mig-9 is a plane, if I can say. It's an aircraft. It's at rank 5 in the Russian tech tree, and it's barely usable at RRB. And because I hate you guys, I'm gonna be putting one more little show here with the Mig-9 cannons because, there's nothing I love more than playing this plane. The B-29, it's a B-29 that's dead, and then the Saber comes, that's also dead. No comment on that, on those 2 kills basically. Absolutely no comment at all. And then the F9F Panther, which I chased for 3 minutes in a straight line, decided to turn. Which, again, if he played his cards correctly, he could have easily slaughtered me, but then again, ignore my horrible aim because, you know, I'm an idiot, but he gets absolutely smoked as well. Kill number 3. And then transitioning from this to my last kill of that particular battle, the Meteor, which is the best playing player at that match with 6 kills. Now, this is an interesting fight because if he had more energy, which the Meteor, you know, needs because it has the excellent energy retention and turn rate, he would have again easily killed me, but because I kept my altitude and speed, which you should always do with this plane, slow means bad, I actually managed to kill him in the end. He tries to reverse me here, I don't allow him with the power of the Soviet engineering that is this plane. I turn around, have more altitude to dive on him, he tries to again turn, which he shouldn't have done, tries to go underneath me, and he gets absolutely smoked. Now ignore my little moment in the chat because I was being full of shit that particular match, but no offense to both of those people. So anyway, leave a like, subscribe, tell me what I should review next. Don't ever suggest this plane again, or you'll get blocked. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.